Hello, everyone. This is Sophie, and today we're going to be talking about note taking. Very exciting stuff. So, first of all, I wanted to go over why notes are important. So, first of all, how will you remember information from a class lecture that took place like a month ago if you only listened? Short answer is you won't. Secondly, research shows that the better your notes, the better you do in the course. So don't take it from me, there's actual proof out there that note taking works. Lastly, taking notes is a surefire way to indicate to yourself that you want to pass a course. Next, we're going to talk about when to take notes. So, of course, everyone knows to take notes during lectures, PowerPoints, and when the instructor writes on the board, but there's a lot of other times during class when you should be taking notes. Let's start on the left. So, class discussions. Note the instructor's questions as they lead class discussions. Instructors' comments on responses should also be written down. In the middle, we have student-led presentations. Think to yourself, why did your instructor assign this? What am I supposed to learn? And note that. Also, add to your notes anything the instructor asks the group or adds to the presentation after the fact. And then finally, group or paired activities. Include the information or experiences from these efforts in your notes. An instructor is not going to give you a group or paired activity for no reason. There's definitely going to be a learning goal that you should try to seek out and make sure that you know for an assessment. On the left, explanations of assignments. While the instructor discusses the directions for important projects or papers, make notes in the margins of the assignment sheet. And on the right, we have demonstrations. So I chose an example of a group learning CPR on a dummy. So don't forget to have your note-taking materials ready for important information that the instructor points out during demonstrations. So while the person in the blue shirt is practicing, the instructor might say something that you, who's watching, want to write down in your notes. So it's good to have those handy even when you're doing demonstrations. So now we know when to take notes, but what should I be taking notes on? So in class, write down any information that soars. Here's the acronym SOARS. Singled out, on the board, asked, repeated, and stressed, and this acronym helps you know what to write down in class. So for S, we have singled out. The instructor spends time addressing significant terms, processes, dates, events, or examples. O, we have on the board. Try to use the same formatting as your instructor since it may be a form of visual organizer. A, we have asked. Write down questions posed by the instructor or asked by classmates. Often, questions posed by instructors appear on assessments. R, we have repeated. Any terms or explanations repeated by the instructor should be noted. Let's say every time you meet, the instructor really stresses this one fact every time. You know that's going to be important. And then finally, for S, we have stressed. You need to infer through verbal and nonverbal cues what information the instructor is stressing. So when the instructor pauses, changes their tone of voice, or varies their pace of words, they may be implying that the information is crucial. Also, the instructor may underline or circle things on the board that they really want to stress. So overall, if you use SOARS, you know when taking notes you should write down things that are singled out, on the board, asked, repeated, and stressed. So, we just went over when to take notes and what to take notes on. Now we're going to go over how to take notes. So the three strategies that are really common are informal outlines, two-column notes, and the Cornell method. So first we have an informal outline. This is my personal favorite. This is when you visually organize the presented material by spacing information out on the page. Items of greater detail are placed underneath their larger group terms. So as you can see, subject 1 is going to be of greater detail than title, and item 1 is going to be of greater detail than subject. Another way to say this is more to the right an item is, the more specificity it has. Also, it's important to note that items of similar importance are spaced the same distance from the left margin. So subject and subject 2 are going to be of similar importance and similar detail. Title and title 2, they're the same distance from the left margin. They're also going to be of similar importance and similar detail. And then finally, white space left at the bottom of the page for review. All right, next we're going to talk about the two-column and Cornell method. I lumped these in together because they are very similar and essentially the same. If you want to learn more about either and learn about the little details that differ about them, you can look them up on Google, or you can use your Success by Design textbook. So what you're going to want to do is fold the paper in half, making a crease down the center of the paper. During class or before class, you're going to want to take notes on the right side of the crease. So as you can see in this picture that I got from the textbook, on the right side, these are the notes they took in class. Then later, when you review your notes, write a question on the blank left side that corresponds to the ideas on the right. So in class, this person learned about the types of cells. After class, when they were reviewing, they said, oh, a good question for this section would be, what are the 4 types of cells? And now you've created a little self-test. So you can fold the paper down the middle, and when you're studying, you could read. So you'd read the question, what are 3 cell theories? Then you would say the answer out loud and flip the paper and check yourself. So not only is it a great way to take notes, it's a great way to study as well. All right, so I also wanted to give some tips about taking notes that have to do with after class. So before you leave class that day, so you just wrapped up, it's really important to clarify questions that you have with your instructor. So if you were taking notes and you wrote down something that you were unsure about, don't wait, go up and ask the instructor before you leave. Secondly, it's really important and it's quick. It's not going to take more than a minute and it's really going to help you remember. Write a 1-minute summary of what you learned that day while all the information is fresh. Next, after class. It is so important to review the notes within 24 hours. Secondly, it's important to note, do not wait until the day before the test to review notes. The point of notes is so that you can review them very frequently and commit all of that information to memory. Finally, I just have some useful tips. So one tip that a lot of people like to do is color code notes. Secondly, star, highlight, and underline important terms. Another useful tip is when you're studying your notes, try to identify 4 to 5 main points. And then finally, share or compare notes with a classmate. This can be really helpful because they might have noted something that you didn't quite get and vice versa, and you could help each other study. All right, so that's all I have for you today. So if you want more information, I really suggest checking out the Success by Design textbook or just using Google. I'm sure there's a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of resources online that can help you with your note taking. Thank you so much. Bye.